A good man.
Hey, how are you, bud?
So far, so good. You know, you look kind of
Glad
like.
to hear it.
What's that?
Listen, glad to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, you kind of look like like a rockabilly guitar player. Like a guy that would play like in Link Ray, Robert Gordon. Stray Cats, kind of.
I tried guitar lessons a long time ago, but it wasn't for men.
Yeah. Can you get a little closer to your mic because we're getting a little feedback there? I mean, yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So did you just listen? This is the debut episode of Adolf Observes. That's what we're going to call it.
Okay.
All right. So you're my first guest, and who knows? Maybe you'll be a co-host or something. You know what I mean?
I'm absolutely down for that. I actually I went to school for radio TV broadcasting, but I ended up bartending for 12 years instead. So
yeah. And see, when you called before, it was like the perfect moment. It's like you can't recreate, so you kind of have to like live in whatever moment you got going on. And like I'm 65 with an 8-year-old kid and a 37-year-old wife,
Good shit, man. Same the cougar.
Well, yes, but I will tell you, man, my energy level, my friend, it's like, look, my energy level is probably like 60% of where it was. Like, come like, I get up about 7 o'clock in the morning. I really don't take the best care of myself. Yeah, but I have a cup of coffee, all this, and like by 5:30, bro. Like, even though I'm a DJ all these years, by 5:30, most days, it's like that's it. My nerves are fried. It's just like,
Yeah, see, I get that 100% because, like, for me, it's now opposite. In my early 20s, I'm 34.
Oh, you're young, man.
Yeah, I'm young. I like to manifest. Instead of saying 34 years old, change that. Our thoughts are things, right? Words are power. So instead of saying 34 years old or 64, you said?
Yeah, 65. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy late birthday. Mine's coming up August 6th. So I'm turning 35 years young.
Yeah, cool.
That's my trip. Start saying that instead and just say it to everybody and to yourself. Whenever somebody asks you how old you are, I'm 65 years young. And just let them sit with that. Don't even bother explaining.
Yeah. I don't really, the only time I feel it, I think if I took better care of myself, I wouldn't feel it so much. The only time I feel it sometimes is when I'm talking to like everybody else, because like for me, all of a sudden, like, I don't know when the hell it happened, man. But like all of a sudden I'm like the old guy in the room. And if you're lucky, you get to that place, but like everybody I do business with and all this, they're all ages and that. But see, I thought you were older. We'll talk a little bit about that. So because you called, you like the vibe I got over the phone with you, because you started talking about beer pong. You know what I mean? So I figured you were like an old DJ who was doing this in the 80s and 90s, like me. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, well, I'm 34, born in 91, a Leo. One of the ones that's hated by the masses. Every time I say I'm a Leo to a woman, she always says this: "You're one of those."
Women say that?
Oh, all the time. Us Leos, like, especially me, I fit the exact like description of a Leo.
Really?
I do. Like, I'm cocky, I'm confident, low key full of myself, but I usually back up. I'd say 95% of what I say. If I'm being fully transparent.
Maybe you'd be that even if you weren't a Leo. You know what I mean? You might have.
It's just like, it's, and most of the chicks I've dated, like I've been retired from dating for like 5 years. I'm really like, I don't really date anymore. Like, since my last relationship in Jacksonville, like, I looked around and I was like, this is not okay.
Right.
So like, I just kind of like backed off, and I've just been kind of like, I chose peace and solitude. Right. And I'm not going to lie to you, but at first it was tough, especially coming out of the former life I lived in Jacksonville.
Right.
So with dealing with all that, being a social guy and just pulling back and just trying to like self-reflect and step away from the party. It was tough, but now, like, most I do, I go down to the fishing pier in Pompano Beach. There's plenty of people that hate me when I do it because I don't really play music that many people really listen to anymore.
Right,
I
right.
play like the 2000s music, and I sing along to it because realistically, I know my voice sounds low. I can
Yeah.
sing.
So when you say you have a playing gig currently, like
No, it's not a gig. The whole point of calling you about this beer pong idea is because I'm doom scrolling social media a lot. Just when I'm bored and I look at all these videos of people partying, there's nothing. And realistically, I've won a few beer pong tournaments and a few city held tournaments. I'm up in New York. I'm a king with that stuff. And
yeah, you just said
nobody does it anymore. And a part of like millennials and the Gen X and some of the ones before them, us 80s and 90s kids, that's a part of who we are. And I think
right.
it's why
Well,
Gen Z is kind of like really like just so sensitive. I mean, you never got you never got to the point we were about to win. You got just shut down with that last shot. And I think it's just a part of it. And I think Gen Z really needs to experience that, especially if they're in college. Just for me, it was a big part of becoming the social me. So it's hard to explain really, but I just I kind of just want to also give all three generations that are currently at war a chance. At something fun, something that's cooperative, brings together community as well. Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z, all 21 plus, just battling to see who's the best at drinking games. Flip cup.
Who's the best at a drinking game?
Like, in a way, okay, you know what?
Wait, can you hold the camera? Can you hold the camera?
Sure.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. I can tell you. Go ahead. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is kind of like Broken Lizard's Beer Fest, American style.
Yeah.
Think of it like that. I mean, you just have, it could be like urban league, like urban league basketball in urban cities, just something like that. You could do sunset. You could set up you need permits, of course, but I just really want to spread the idea so that could be.
How are you planning to start though? I mean, are you because we talked, briefly we talked about the reaching out to bars and stuff like that. Isn't that the best place to?
I agree. I'm gonna head down to the pier once the sun goes down because I'm 2 steps out I'm covered in water and I can't deal with that. So I have to wait.
2 steps out. What?
Well, right now, I found a few vacant lots. I'm currently in school for real estate. I just started a course earlier today for commercial real estate. So getting into that, if I'm gonna do it myself without help, it'll take some time. But I just
why real estate? I mean, if I may, I'm just gonna make an observation because I'm looking at you. You got the cool shirt, you got the black jeans, you got the cross earrings, you're sucking on a vape. You know what I mean? You look scrappy. I've always done, so you can handle yourself.
It is Wednesday, and I have nothing else to do. This is just casual work for me. I actually am a professional.
But you seem just if I was to see you, I would say you're more of a creative guy. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that there's not more, that your arms aren't full of ink.
Well, my arms aren't full of ink. I got 2 tattoos. That's it. They both of them have a spiritual meaning to what makes me. The thing is, I'll tell you what, I'll be real. I'm actually used to be, I used to rip and run for on and off for 10 years. I'm in addiction, got out of it.
God bless you, man. God bless you, seriously.
Oh, well. I mean, the thing is, I know I've always gone against the grain, just naturally, not breaking the law, but when the sheep go this way, I actually go this way, and that's also probably why a lot of my friends I grew up with are no longer alive, and I'm still here. Yeah. I just know I do things my own way within the system. So, but I still follow the law and all that. But
me too.
I I haven't really gotten a physical. I don't do medications. I do medicinal cannabis. And realistically, the last physical I had, I'm healthier than they're surprised how healthy I am.
Yeah.
So, but right now, yeah, I'm scrappy. I got a haircut appointment tomorrow. And yeah, but what I'm doing is like I know I'm unorthodox. What I am is a chameleon. I know how to act in certain and the professional world as well as social. I can blend in almost anywhere.
Oh, I'm
And
sure. That's why, like, I'm surprised. Like, again, real estate is so buttoned up. You know what I mean? It's contracts and all. And again, I don't know you. We just met, right? But like, you strike me as a creative guy, a guy that would cut his own path. You know, like I have a traditional business in a sense, but you know, when it gets in, but yeah, it's my own thing. But also when it gets into the nitty gritty of the paperwork and all that stuff, my brain just like turns into spaghetti. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. See, like, and that's a big thing. Like we talk about with ADHD people and all that. People with ADHD and ADD, we learn, yes, and much quicker than other people. But it has to be by majority something that individual is passionate about. I am passionate about the party life. Once I hit 21, that's when I found my niche with socializing. I found that was my home away from home. My friends called it my natural habitat.
Yeah.
And as I, once I got into bartending school and I found, working in nightclubs, you're a part of the party. You are the party. You're the one making the drinks. You got the smile, the best looking one in the place.
Oh yeah.
And my drinks are also amazing, but and I'm using real estate, but I'm only getting the knowledge, getting into the industry to gain the seat there, get the knowledge and all the information and wisdom I need for the business because I'm gonna use real estate to blaze my own path.
Right.
I'm gonna be in the industry, of course, but I'm gonna also be like going out there setting up jobs. But like I said, getting more service, more bartenders, and getting them also encouraging them to go to the school, get the certificate because they don't only teach you the drinks and how to make them, they teach you the laws. They teach you the laws, state and federal. You go to Jacksonville, I'm one of the top, for 3 years, I was one of the top bartenders there. You go in, and they all learn from a person who learned the wrong way and so on and so back.
So that was your first pit stop down from Jersey, was Jacksonville?
New York, yeah. I mean, it was. That was a big mistake there. I fell into a lot of bad stuff there. But the thing is, it's like, like I said,
the first of the bad stuff was the girlfriend, I guess, right?
Redhead, yeah, genders.
My wife is a redhead.
How many did you go through before you got this one?
You want to know, it's a funny thing that you say that because I was married, when I was younger, and then through the years I had a variety of girlfriends. You know what I mean? But nobody that knocked my socks off, so to speak, or that was really down to earth, good heart. It was only like you were talking about, you opened up a little bit before saying that, like, I'm done, I withdraw, you know what I mean? I choose peace. That's when I met my wife, you know what I mean? And even then, now, I mean, we've been together since 2012. And yeah, I mean, even now, it is a different life. You have a kid, you have responsibility.
Yeah, of course.
But it's different kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for me, it's like and for both of us, it's a commitment. We're each other's family.
It's a choice, and you know what?
But it took me over 20 years to get there. In fact, I was like, or close to. Let's see, I came down here. Yeah, I was 35. All right, I met her when I was 51, not 20 years. So 35 to 16 years. Had a few girlfriends, but that last year before I met her,
we're just like,
dude, I was reading books. I was listening to music. I was chilling, meditating. I did not have any intimate contact with a woman. There was fucking peace, and I started out in my, I fell asleep in my bed. I woke up in my bed. I wasn't, it was just, you know, so I respect what
hard times. Sometimes you get lonely, but it's kind of like this when it's saying recovery. Move a muscle, change of thought. The second you start getting in your head and start mind start racing, go outside. If you listen for 5 minutes, stand in the sun, come back in, it's like a refresh, reset. That's what people don't understand. That's what a lot of the young ones that are starting to try that trend of like finding peace. They're not aware that's going to happen. They're not aware they're going to get those times where you're going to scroll through Facebook. You're going to see either the woman that broke your, the woman that got away with another man, maybe somebody taunting you, and that's going to put you in a place in your head. You have to get out, go somewhere, go for a walk, go sip out of water. I do that every night. It's the most
That's wonderful.
And
you're in Pompano. You're in Pompano, you said.
Yeah, I'm right in Harbor Village.
That's cool. Yeah. So what made you choose Pompano? Just curious.
My mom actually was trying to convince me for 5 years. I kept fighting her on it. Like, no, I want to go back to New York. And she kept trying to tell me no. And I got back to it. Before I came here, a few months ago, I went back to New York. I tried. And number one, it is legit. The real estate thing is big. And the brokers, they despise me. Probably for the same reason you brought up. I would be humble. And I would take accountability. I was not conservative with a fucking broker at all. I was like, yeah, man, all that. Didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a late bloomer.
What's that?
I'm a late bloomer when it comes to independence. Okay, I'm late to the party.
No, you're not.
Say that. Oh well, no. I hold myself accountable. I lived with my mom until I was 28, mainly because I was a dumbass. Like,
why? But so what? Okay, you needed that at that time. You know what I'm saying? And your mom,
people that are ashamed of that just know, do what you do. Fuck everybody else.
And you love your mom. Your mom loves you. You know what I'm saying? Look, she loves you no matter what. How she loves you. But absolutely. How can I say? It's like this. I've thought about some of this stuff over the years, and I grew up. I was like not the first generation of this, the post World War II people, but the next one after that. And it was around that time, like before that, families were tight. They stayed close together. I saw it with my aunts and uncles. When you have a family, it's like you can lift each other up. You can look out for each other, and it's only like if you take a look at it, they're like. Go out in the world. Go out in the world. Go out in the world. Now you're all alone. Okay. Now you got like a whole other set of bills. Nobody look at. Instead of having one household, you got fucking 5 households. They got to pay.
Yeah. It's like why? Like, exactly. Like I'm jealous of that time. But I'm 91 kid. My parents got divorced when I was 3. Not my business. I found out my dad said. My mom, she doesn't want to tell me. That's her issue. I'm not going to pry her. I was raised in a single mother household, and I'm also going to be humble enough to admit right now, I am part of that statistic. That does say, man, I grew up in single mother households, 210s, not all, but I'm part of that majority that ends up on the wrong side. I did fall into that trap. I did. I saw my dad every other weekend. He taught me survival skills in sales in the business world and in the social world to be able to become a chameleon, as I said. He's the one that taught me that from the time I was 7 up until my 20s. It's because of him I'm basically who I am now. So with that said, but still, I did fall into that negative part of that statistic.
Yeah.
With that said, but still.
That's hard, though. My parents are divorced.
Look, my mom saved my ass more times than I can count. I'm not going to get into that. But, what I will say is that, the statement about parents and the best they can has been cut short because I'm gonna give a little extra on top of that. You parents do the best you can with the resources you are provided.
Right.
Nobody else. That's not talked about. And every time I said that, you can't say that. I go, fuck you. I'm the guy, and I put out on social media all the time. I'm the man that's gonna say what needs to be said. Come at me, I can take a punch. You want to kill me? Everybody has to die. I'm not suicidal, but I do have to believe there is no such thing as an untimely death. If you die, guess what? God said, go get him.
If I will tell you this. I kind of used to feel that way to some degree. I mean, I wasn't, but but like I didn't care as much. I will tell you this. What if you have a kid, that will change and motivate you. It took me till I was 56 to have a kid, 56, but like, again, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it went that way, but suddenly
you're not going to know until it's time for you to know.
Yeah. It's
and that's like, and here's I'll give you another thing about my past, Bob. But when I was in junior year and senior year, I was in alternative high school in Mount Kisco, New York, called Hillside. There were a bunch of other dudes, more able-bodied than me, bigger than me, tougher than me. There's one Marine recruiter. He didn't bother with anybody else. There were 60 other guys. Definitely who she should have been looking at. Nope. You looked at me. Scrawny, skinny, 6'1", tall kid with a deep voice who just popped up like this one day at 15. People followed me, waiting for me outside the parking lot. And if he sees this, I made a mistake. Not long ago, I should have not told you I was on meds. Because I didn't understand. I was way immature in my mind there, and I should have been.
Okay.
Because he was following me, and I recently kind of had this realization. Looking back at the choices I made and realizing that everybody has to die, and death is not something to fear, but to welcome as an old friend from decades ago. If I would, now I want also this to get out to this recruiter, if he's, God bless, he's still with us, that if I would have chosen not to just like not tell him about the prescription medications my parents forced me on, and I would have just said, you know what, let's go. If I would have known about that knowledge I just spoke about, I would have done it. Because if I would have survived, maybe going in the military, going in at that time in 2008, 2009, when I graduated, possibility, maybe. It's very vague, a very vague, small percentage of the ratio, but.
Were you there? Wait, I just got confused. Were you in the military?
No, I was followed around by a recruiter for 2 years. I was the only one in the entire town he wanted, which was, now looking back at it, why? And then, but I told him that the last time I saw him, he disappeared after when I told him I'm on bipolar medication, which I'm not anymore. It turns out I was misdiagnosed. And if I would have not done that, I would have gone into the military. If I would have survived, maybe my path could have been a little bit different, maybe more positive instead of going into what I did. And that's just a realization I had. Maybe that was probably the path I was supposed to take.
Yeah.
To go in and be recruited. Because looking back now, I survived quite a lot of shit that they're similar to maybe what people are rewarded. I have trauma, PTSD for the choices I made.
Yeah. Wow.
But, it's in the past, and I'm just obsessed about it. I just, that recruiter sees this, he should know. I should have not said that.
So these days, man, are you working or what do you do?
I am in school for I'm doing a real estate course, a CAO.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I thought maybe you had a day gig or something that you were doing.
No. Bartender for 12 years. On and off, doing other jobs in between. But mainly, my main goal is really it's very broad. Like my dream, it's not just like one specific thing: lawyer, doctor, real estate agent, Trump style hotel tycoon. No, it's similar but small.
Small, enough for you to handle and have peace.
Not necessarily. I mean, look, a part of it is also, I'm waiting for, DeSantis or Florida to stop the bullshit and just make weed recreational. They are not going to regret it. I watched what happened in New York before. I don't want to say his name because I have a lot of. I'm here because I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Because of his ass, and trust me, if I was there right now, I would be knocking heads everywhere in fucking Times Square.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is king. But
Amen.
Either way, I just before he came to office, I was up there, and I remember coming out of Penn Station before they recreationalized marijuana. crime, drug dealers, homeless people all over the place. And yes, when you do go to New York, you still see the occasional tweaker. But it is as a man born and raised, I try to say it is nowhere near as bad since they recreationalized it. There's not as many crack and fentanyl dealers. They're very scarce, and they're more like in bigger weight than just street corners. And there's not a lot of violence in the main places where there once was.
You're talking about in New York, then?
New York and the tri-state area in general, where recreational weed things have calmed down before the.
You know, I grew up in New York in the 70s, man, and I will tell you, I grew up in Queens, but you know, in those days, man, it was a free for all. What's that?
I heard stories.
Yeah, no, it was a free for all. I mean, you cannot. You've heard stories. That's all I could say.
I mean, I never heard stories. I've watched, American Gangster and all that, but I wasn't there. Like I can't.
If you want to go see, like, if you've ever seen Taxi Driver, okay, the De Niro movie.
I don't think I've seen it. Look it up.
Go watch Taxi Driver. That is what New York City Times Square was like in the 1970s.
I'm gonna put that on after we get off this.
It was bad news, and like when I tell you, I mean, because there were no cameras in those days. I remember when they wanted to put.
I just had that conversation with my Uber driver. I just told him, he was like, "What's your new drug dealers on?" I was like, there's so many cameras on the streets. And he was like,
anyway, you know, they wanted to put cameras. I still have the newspaper somewhere. I used to save all this, and they were putting cameras in the 42nd Street Times Square station where the E and the F met, and all those. And there were people saying it was an intrusion, like a violation of privacy rights. So they tried to fight it. When I tell you, I mean, it's been so many years. When you'd have to switch trains, you'd go into the lower levels. It just smelled of urine. It was horrible. I mean, it stunk. It was oppressive, and there were always characters, homeless, dangerous people. I was never violently assaulted on the trains, but I was approached more than once. One time, two guys. The guy had a switchblade, and he's like, you're going to give me your wallet or whatever. I said, in those days we had a token to get back on the train. I said, can you leave me with a token? Yeah, and another time, do you remember Bryant Park behind the library?
Yeah.
I used to work as a hot dog vendor. In those days, that was the park that drug addicts would go to get their.
Oh, I know. I heard about that one. Yeah, but it's different now.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's where they would go to buy all kinds of drugs. And the first day I'm working there, because I was a working class kid, my parents didn't know any better. This guy walks up to me, right? And I'm there. They drop you off on a truck, with this hot dog cart. This guy comes up to me. He's like right out of the 1970s, black guy. He's like, he had a good countenance about him. He's like, he really did. I liked him right away.
I know we were going with this already.
Okay. And he goes like this. He's like, hey man, how you doing? I said, good. How you doing? I'm like, is he going to rob me? He goes, listen, this is how it's going to go. He says, and he picks up his shirt and he shows me he's got like a 9mm, right? And he goes, and I'm like, and I really was a nice kid. How the fuck I was in these situations, I don't know. But he goes, this is how it's going to go. He says, I'm going to stay here by you and do my dealing, but I'm also going to protect you. He says, because if you stay by yourself, these junkies are going to kill you. I was like, oh, okay. And that's how New York City was. So much of New York City was the wild fucking West, man. It was just nuts. And that's why, like in my life, I can talk to almost any kind of people. I've gotten tired in some ways because I'm an older guy now and I'm a dad and whatever else. But I can talk to all kinds of people. Whatever. My grandparents grew up in Spanish Harlem when it was rough. Now you see this shit going on now with the rent stabilization, the rent lockdowns, and all that.
All my friends, I just cut them all off because I was trying. The last week, I've been calling all my chosen family because I'm the black sheep of my family, so I had to go out there and find my own. And like I kept telling them, like, you're gonna get stuck. Get your ass out now. I will help you. Like, God damn it. Like, come partner with me. Like, one of my homegirls up there has her Florida real estate license, so I can partner with her. They're all just, no, this is great. I'm just like, you know what? Don't call me to come get you.
They don't see it, and they're too young. I was a kid.
We're smarter than that. We're way.
Well, like, you want to know what happened?
Nice guy. Like,
in my grandmother's building, right? Because the landlord started to abandon the building. They started abandoning the buildings, like they're worried about. And she had like some old Italians living there. Was Spanish on them at the time. But like all the buildings on the block, fires. The landlords would burn them down because they were losing money. They collected insurance, things like that. I saw this shit firsthand. I don't know if it'll be different this time. Okay, luckily my grandmother's building did not burn down, but the ones on the side, the one immediately to the right, that one burned so bad they like. I mean, they brought the cinder block down, everything.
I actually come to think of it. There was a few times when staying in the Bronx. Between 2 and 4 months ago, I was near Arthur Avenue, Little Italy, in the Bronx, and every almost 2 or 3 days in a row, when I'm walking to the dispensary over there, all the way down to the end of Arthur Avenue, and every time I walked, those 2 or 3 days, there was a building completely burned to a crisp. I didn't think anything of it because I have my headphones and I'm playing. Colt 45 after man, talking on a blunt, because dude, I'm gonna say this about New York right now because I'm still a little salty because a year into me living in Jacksonville, I was in a relationship. I was also playing stepdaddy to a 13-year-old daughter. I don't know what happens to girls when they hit 13, but a switch turns on. It's fucking frustrating. Oh my God! But I learned a lot. It was good, great learning experience. We're sitting there in the morning. Me and her mother are just rolling up, getting ready to smoke. And I'm sitting in my apartment in Jacksonville with them, and Cuomo comes on. Now, I have a few possession charges, which I have left messages for the goddamn court club. A little angry about it. But as soon as he said, guess what? You can smoke a joint, you can smoke a cigarette. I probably gave my family a little bit of PTSD when I jumped up and screamed and punched my TV so goddamn hard because I left New York. Not thinking that was going to happen, and a year later, I was so fucking mad for weeks. I did not talk. I was mad. Wow. And when I went back, I went in the dispensary for the first time after 5 years, and I was like so freaked out. So I feel like, but it's much better, but still like rent stabilization, all that. I tried, I hit up my boys. So I'm in Garfield now. Now, Garfield, New Jersey used to be majority Albanian and Italian. Not anymore. You just left me a text yesterday. I just said, too bad, Paisan. Ciao. This is the thing. See, understand something.
You know what? I'm going to use that phrase. Too bad, Paisan. Too bad, Paisan. Ciao.
That's just. Well, he's a Jersey Guido from Waldsworth, New Jersey. Yeah. And his name's Ryan. But there was a time like this. I used to call him like Stoner Sheldon because he had the Big Bang Theory Sheldon's haircut, but he was dressed like a Jersey Guido stoner, straight out of Bergen County. So I had this actual idea with him, and I really wanted to do it. I hope his Goomba ass sees it. Freaking I wanted him to kind of be like a podcast of Goodfellas, two Jersey cousins, Guido and a Jersey Guido, just arguing about dumb shit while taking bong rips. No script, just going at each other, just like in the Italian mafia movies. I think that would be a great thing. The kid, it's like I don't know what's wrong with him. Like ever since I met him, he has this I don't know how to explain it without making the faces of how he looks, but which I can't do well, but he's just, I don't want to, because people are going to find, I guarantee you, this is going on social media, I'm telling you right now. All my people are all over social media. I'm talking my whole chosen family. I'm warning you, bud, listen, after this, when you post it, I want you to post this, wherever you want to post it. Yeah. be aware.
I got you finish it.
Be aware that I abandoned my chosen family. You could think of me back when we were at our prime as a crew. I was like Toretto, Dominic Toretto at Fast and Furious. They followed my lead. I was the driver. We were all over the tri-state. We started out in Westchester, ended up in like Jersey Shore, and come back in the morning and go to work. I was us 4 days a week, and like everybody there. So we want to go, Zach. We're going here.
What would you do there, though? What were you doing? What were you doing there? You go somewhere.
Partying, like going from spot to spot. Started on Atlantic Avenue, White Plains, then go to Soho, hop over the George Washington Bridge, or down through the tunnel, head to Hoboken, then start and end in Seaside Heights.
Just the nights of partying, man. Well, that's what you do when you're young.
And you know what? Here's the thing. And I be shit face. I don't know statute of limitations on drunk driving, but
don't say you don't give up too much.
Because everybody always chose me to drive, and I think they should thank me because if anybody else did, you'd all be in jail, paraplegic, or buried. So they should welcome me, and I should get a thank you. But I'm just saying, people probably like, I know that guy. I've seen him before. And they'll be like, you're gonna get some, maybe a possibility to get some stories, so you can come back to me and confirm.
It's for I post mostly, like, I have two channels. I have my DJ channel for business, has little clips of parties, and I've got another channel where I mostly post live music. But I think regular people are the most interesting people in the world. You know what I mean?
Authentic way to get content is just by all different personalities. It's like, and I actually I was the whole time I was like, no 60 minutes. I was like, shit, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because like it came out of nowhere. And actually, I'm very honored that you chose me. I hope I didn't go overboard because I am the type of guy that is unfiltered, unhinged. Because I do practice my right of freedom of speech. So,
hey, I like I said, you're colorful. You know what I mean? You're a colorful guy. You got a lot of personality.
I am basically what you would describe as an authentic American.
Yeah,
I'm a guy that everybody overlooks, but if you give me longer than 10 minutes of a conversation, you're gonna come back to the same spot where you met me that day, and the next day I'm like, I want to come back. This guy's fucking crazy. But like I've had a bad run. I've made some bad choices that is known to a lot of people, silently. But just because who I was in the past should not define who I am and who I'm becoming now. And that's a big problem we're having because there's a few points I want to make real quick. Number one, parents are not preparing the kids when the kid turns 18, going to college, going out on their own, whatever. I believe it shouldn't be like a fucking goddamn bear that wants to get out, go figure it out. No. And then it worked then. It worked 10 years ago when they stopped teaching cursive around that time. When they stopped doing that, we should have, as parents, when they got out of high school, before they left, a mom and dad, whether it's a daughter or a mother, a daughter or son, whoever, boy or girl, you need to at least give them a heads up. Run them through, and I believe also what they should do in schools, or if you're homeschooling your kids, take them to AA meetings, NA meetings, Dharma meetings, Al-Anon meetings. Let your kids, when they reach the age of being able to understand a darker side of life without being tempted. Now, don't take them to the hood and see what they did before they got clean. Take them to the meetings to hear the stories of average people, blue-collar workers, celebrities like Johnny Depp, like them. Hear their stories. Listen to people like Russell Brand on YouTube. Show them these videos that people that really lived a dark side of a piece of their life, where they lost a piece of their soul, but somehow found a way to get it back. I think kids really need to know about these things. They need to be aware that your life, by one stupid choice of hanging out with this person, taking a hit of that one joint, whether it's weed or whatever it's laced with, can lead you down years, decades of a dark path that there's a good chance you will not come out of alive. And that is a true statistic. I don't think gentle parenting is a smart thing. I don't think it is. I'm not saying hit your kids, but I'm saying you got to be stern and assertive. And when it's necessary, aggressive. but you show me be aggressive to show them the right times to be.
Yeah.
This is a big thing we're having. Gentle parenting. Like, I'm a 90s kid, but I was one of the few that lived latchkey life as a 90s kid. I did it. And it was fucking worth it. Fuck, man, hunting, knee scrapes, running from the cops because we were bored, hopping fences, shit. Like that, no, don't do that now. But I'm just saying, like, especially if your parents are Gen X or millennial, these kids should be asking them questions. Hey, show me a photo album, mom. Like, who brought you? Tell me stories. Ask your uncles, your Gen Z's older cousins, me. Ask me fucking questions, like, but when you're raising your kids, they reach 16, 17, going into senior year to summer before they go to college, let them experience a 12-step meeting or a few of them. Let them go to a speaker meeting. Sure, dude that went there and fucking just had a first drink at 11. Oh, it's so warm, fuzzy, the sweat of the bottle. Let them hear the obsession of what they describe so that they know, maybe like because in rehab, when you're hearing the stories, if you don't catch it consciously, I guarantee you still heard it. It's in there. And something that somebody said that you didn't catch consciously, one day your subconscious going to save your life. Without one thing that man said when he was sharing.
Yeah, it may resonate with them. What do you think?
These kids have to know, because you guys, just because they're an addict and you're a kid, you can't say what I said in their program to my dad when I complete it. I'll never do that. I promise. Meanwhile, 20 years later, I did. And, I don't know I still can't pinpoint why I chose it. But if I'm the DARE program, it was stupid. First of all, it's called DARE. Stupid. 90s kids. Because you're calling a program DARE and you're telling them, I dare you not to do drugs. Really? You're telling us, I dare you not to? We're 90s kids. We play truth or dare all the time. And you're telling us that. That's all. That's really, to me, it seems like a subconscious thing. Because if someone told me, I dare you not to hop the fence and punch that guy, I'm just like, if I was 13, I was going to do it. But I dare you to take the steak knife and go stab Jack Frost in that guy's lawn. Bet I got this. So, no, really, that was kind of a stupid way to say it. It's not about what you said, but how you said it. Yeah. But still, man, you got to teach these kids. And really, bud, when your son or daughter, I'm not sure if it was boy or girl, but
son.
I'm sorry?
Son, I have a boy.
It's even better. So you're going to path for doing it that same way. If they are at a certain mature age where they can consciously understand that there is a good, not a high possibility, I'll say a mild and moderate possibility they can be veered off simply by a woman, a best friend, a teacher, a mentor, a parent, a family member, a TV show, a song. Gotta let them know this, man. If you have an 8-year-old son, present day, right now, you should really be like, once they get to that age of like being able to understanding, you need to be able to at least ask them if you're willing to learn.
Yeah,
it would be just like a good project. Never works.
Well, my son is on the spectrum, so working with him is a whole other thing. But
yeah, in that case, still, this is also a good chance me to explain this to you here now. Yeah, it would be also a good way with parents that maybe had a family member, a friend, maybe died from an overdose.
Oh,
maybe
God.
Sick to themselves. They may have kids, maybe going into senior year, has a friend that is bad news. They may catch on to that. They may hear me just say this, or maybe open up their social media. They may be like, you know what? Maybe I should try that. They have a home group already. Bring them in and sit and listen. Or speaker meeting. That's a trend that could really, long term, not short term, it would take a while. But if it catches on, it could be good.
Gotta watch.
It's a big thing.
All right, so look, I'm gonna get back to work. I got some papers to do and all that. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna upload it to this program. It's called there's two, Opus Clips and Descript. I'm gonna upload it. It should automatically cut it up into bits. And we'll see what happens with it. All right, bro?
Listen, honestly, look, and like I said, as you can tell, I'm an open book, but I don't, look, I have a tattoo right here. Like I said, my tattoos are spiritual. Only God can judge me. I got that for a reason. People can judge me all they want. The only thing, only voice I'm going to listen to that Ken that I've ever is gone.
Judging people is the biggest waste of time.
Oh
and
my
anybody
God.
that
Like, oh, it's like I'm sitting up here. I play music. It was just I sit down and immediately run away, and like I'm just like, okay, go ahead. I'm not offended, but I'm kind of hurt because I'm not dangerous. I'm singing Stacey's mom.
Yeah.
Like, I'm singing Stacey's mom.
Passing judgment on people is a waste of their time.
It's a waste of their time,
and thinking about it is a waste of your time.
And I'm gonna leave us with this. No matter what, in Hollywood, they say bad publicity is good publicity. Well, guess what? To the average man or woman, it's the same principle. Because I'll say this: you're renting space in somebody's head. That's already one win. You're winning. You're occupying their mind. They spread hate about you. This thing they hate about you is an opinion, not truth. They tell somebody that doesn't really believe that person. They find out for themselves. They're like you gained a new fan, and that brings more publicity.
Yeah.
So let people hate you. The people that are curious will find out for themselves.
Bro,
let them go. So that's it.
Thank you. I got to take a leak, and I got to take a.
All
right, brother. We'll talk some more. Stay in touch, bro. Okay.
Take it easy, man. I will.
God bless. Bye.
You too, man.